The reason why I don't answer like you think, I say, I want to see where's your heart at. If I gave you everything you asked for, I wouldn't know where your heart is at. You just be a spoiled brat.
Amen. That's true.
When I was in between the job, in between where I'm at now and where I was, it was a couple of months. Somebody's like, oh, I remember Brother Gray told me this. Oh, Pastor, just relax and collect us unemployment and just don't worry about it. And I'm like, I'm like, yeah, I know, Lord, he ain't just for nothing. I'm like, no, I'm worried. And even though I gave this appearance of, praise God, I ain't worried, and Lord will take care of you, and everything's going to be all right. In my carnal mind, in my mortal self, I worried. I'm like, Lord, I'm trying to have faith in you. I put in so many applications for jobs. People were like, oh, now I got this other skill, and I knew I was banging. People like, they even told me at work, they said, Ron, these other folks getting hired. They said, you should have been the first one up. But yet God did not permit it. Then I'm like, okay, Lord, you know what? I'm paying my tithes, and you say what you will revert to.
Yes,
Lord, here's what I'm doing.
Yes,
because it's natural. When you go and interview for a job, you are highlighting your resume. You are talking about you.
Yes,
I remember when I interviewed for this last job where I'm at now, and even though Robert Half hired me based on my experience, I had to go and interview for Wells Fargo. They didn't just give it to me based on Robert Half. They're like, okay, so what can you do for us? Highlight your career. Give it to me. They say the elevator speech. Do it in 90 seconds. Highlight yourself. And you got to hear, hey, look, I've done this, and this, and hey, the reason why you need this, blah, blah, blah. Well, I've given a speech before. I remember I was out in MB Financial in Rosemont. I'm like, I know I got this because I'm coming from a big bank. Y'all small. What y'all trying to get into, I can teach you some stuff. So I had the lady sitting there, she's like, wow. I was like, and they offer this product and y'all don't have it, but I know the product because I can help implement it. So if MB Financial is serious about credit card, commercial credit card, you need to hire me. And thought I aced it. But when you again look, for we know that all things work together for the good. Right now, the current job I'm on, I have to travel to Hoffman 2-3 times a week now. I'm like, Lord, if I had to travel to Rosemont every day from where I'm at, I might would shoot myself because I would be, at least with this, it's like, okay, I know I got a reprieve and I don't have to do it every day. And then my reprieve to myself is, but there's some people who do this every day. But we don't see all the time what God sees because we're so narrow-minded with, Lord, I got a need and you need to give me a job and I'm faithful and you need to do this.
Yes, sir.
Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness and all these things will be added. It is about seeking the kingdom primarily and then everything else falls in line. It's not how God has answered me, or am I tickled with every time the Lord answers me and it's always an affirmative yes, or it's always what I want. No, it will not be. 9 times out of 10, it may not be. People are like, oh, pray for, so-and-so got cancer. Well, it may be God's will to take them. And I'm not being mean or critical, but maybe that's in God's plan. Maybe it's in God's plan that individual, because the greater good, when I think about Cornell, and it's still by divine providence, I think about the sermon. And let's see, he's been gone, 15 years?
Longer than that. Probably 19.
When you think about, and many people, the big fish, and the Lord said to me, in that room, there were bigger fish to be fried than his life. He had lived in such a way to where, again, were there mistakes? Absolutely. Who of us don't make mistakes? But at the end of the day, look at through what God did. If Cornell had not passed, I would dare say y'all would be where you are now. But because God moved him out of the way, you had to step up and because he at the time was This is who's leading us to God. Now it's like, I found it for myself. Again, the coolest thing I thought that the Lord could say at 12 when I lost my mother, and I'm asking God on that Sunday, and again, she's sitting there for Sunday school, and we're faithful, and she's always there, and it's like, Lord, you take her. And I'm like, Lord, this was my mother. You took the most precious thing to me. How could you do this? And God's answer was, but are you coming to church for me or her? I know that was God that said that, because again, one of the most critical conversations you could have is like, Lord, but you took my loved one and God ain't tickling you. Like, yeah, there was a reason behind it. You don't understand now, you will. And it had nothing to do with my age. It was just, you were coming, Butch, because you were trying to please Gladys.
Yes, sir.
Come please me.
Yes, sir.
If a man's ways please me, I'll make his enemies his footstool.
Oh, yeah.
So, let me just talk about a few, and then we're almost at time. I didn't think I'd even go on this long. Joseph was in prison, and it seemed he was left alone. And it seemed like God didn't hear him. Remember the story? He's taken into prison wrongfully. Here's the other thing. We can't get past things happening to us wrongfully and God seemingly sitting by and letting it happen. So again, he goes through all this time, but yet in prison, God magnifies him. Sometimes God has to take you in your worst situation and allow you to be magnified in the whole. If you can believe that I'm God in solitary confinement, you have no issue in general population.
Yes, sir.
Jacob with Leah and Rachel. Jacob was the triune, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He seeks for a wife. He sees Leah, but then he sees Rachel. Like, okay, I want Rachel. Well, he gets tricked and ends up with Leah after being tricked. They have the honeymoon, he lays with her. After the ceremony, she's his wife. But then what is the outcome of laying with Leah? The outcome is Judah. Sometimes God has to put you into a situation where you will produce praise. It was not his choice to have Leah. But if he had not had Leah, he would not have had Judah. What's so important about Judah? And the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. If you had not gotten in that situation, Jacob, if I had left you to your own device, there would have been no mechanism for God to come through. Jesus in the garden. Matthew 26 through 37. Matthew 26, 37 through 42. The main thing in getting to the crux of that, where Jesus is now in the garden and he's crying out to the Father. And he says, if it be possible, let the cup pass. Nevertheless, thy will be done. It's funny because we will say, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. But we'll say it sometimes, I think, really to be cute. Then it's like, but no, I need your will. His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. All what you saw this week, all the craziness with Charlottesville, all the craziness out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, all that stuff. Again, when you look at what the Lord did, even when you equate it to the time of Nebuchadnezzar, the Lord allows chaos only for himself to be magnified. Again, the thing that people have to look at, and it's the craziest thing because you got the Bible thumping community that's saying, here's our guy, and people justifying his actions and all this other stuff. God is like, no, I need to reveal it is me that's doing this. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It was funny, I was reading an article out of CNN a week or so ago, and the title of it was Don and God. And it was saying of Donald Trump that of the other presidents, say what you will, and it's funny because everybody, Obama was a Muslim and all this stuff. He had at least links to the Christian community, and again, he had gone to Bishop Razor's church and what have you. So he had, I don't know what his relationship is with God, but yet there was a semblance of developing a relationship with God with 45 with him. They said that he's not even affiliated with a church. And they said the one church where he went to, where him and Melania got married, it was like, he will come through there like once or twice. At least with Obama, say what you will, with Bill Clinton, he may have been a whoremonger and all that stuff. So be it, so was Rachel. So was Rahab. But at least with Clinton, I watched Bill Clinton. He'd be in a church service and he'd be singing all the verses to the hymn with no book open. I'm not saying it makes him more godly than anybody else, but I'm saying this man has come out and just defied God altogether, but yet it is the church community that gets behind this program and support him because he's talking good rhetoric. The devil does it every time. Ask Eve. He's always about talking good rhetoric. Oh, God didn't mean that. Oh, if you eat, you'll be like God. Fool, I already am like him. And the foolish thing about it that the Christian community does not understand, the office of president does not legislate morality. They don't legislate laws. They can sign them, but they don't legislate it. It's not that always. Go back and check civics class.
Yes, sir.
It's 3 arms of government, but yet, he doesn't support abortion and gay rights and all. He cannot set legislation for that. Yeah, maybe he can set the Supreme Court to do it, but even with that, look who's sitting up in the Supreme Court. How much of God do y'all represent? But yet, people have been deceived by all this foolishness. Go back and check history, but yet, I know this, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. God's going to have his way in everything that goes on, even if I have to reveal Charlottesville, and it's like, okay, somebody was like, oh, he needs to get Steve Bannon out of there. Well, Bannon's gone. But Bannon, yet, is defiant, said, oh, that's okay, from Breitbart, I'm going to do what I need to do outside of here. Reveal who you are. I'm not going to give you, because here's what's funny. And this is what God was saying to me. In my ask, it would be a woman sitting in the White House. But the Lord's like, but that's not my will. And I know you don't like it, and y'all don't understand it. But I'm God, and I know the end from the beginning. So I got this, let me be God. You get kingdom ready.
Yes, sir.
Stop. It's funny, because I realize that we do have obligation to certain things. Even Jesus, when you think about that, Jesus really did not politicize himself, and that's what's so funny about church nowadays, to where, and I'm not saying that we don't have a moral responsibility, but tell people about Jesus, tell them about the goodness of God. If they don't align with the will of God and trying to do good, the golden rule, they used to hammer this, even people that were not necessarily church going as kids, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You don't have people saying that nowadays. That was the golden rule that they talked about a long time ago. Even before color TV came along and the internet and all this stuff, you had the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's not that people were not doing, but at least they highlighted it.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if it was Will Smith, I read a quote that he said none of this stuff has changed. Police brutality has always been there, racism has always been there. He said that the thing that has changed now is you've got internet and cameras. It's now displayed. It's always been there. I saw somebody wrote, Trump may be doing this, but Obama helped usher this stuff in, and some kind of craziness they had out there. Listen, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. I don't care if it's a monkey sitting there. God's gonna have his way. Don't Don't give credence to that. Well, you know, if Obama hadn't opened up the door to gay marriage, people been doing it all the time anyway. And so on film, I want to get it straight. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying it was what it was. But don't make that the issue in that this is why. No, God said this is who needs to be there. I know y'all prayed for one thing, and even though the whole thing with the popular vote versus the college, he's like, I knew years ago when they set this in place of what was going to happen and what the outcome would be. Check your history. The thing behind that is a southern nation that had slavery. They wanted to make sure that they had a vote and that you wouldn't have somebody as conservative as California with that many people there that would outvote them.
Yeah.
So the college was put in place because of that, to keep, that's the reason why you got all this noise around these monuments and all this other stuff. And he's so ignorant, 45, talking about, well, get rid of George Washington and the rest of them. No, it was like, why are we glorifying a bad period in our history? It is what it is. We all know it's there. We're reminded of it daily. But God's like, but you think I didn't know what was going to happen in August when this fool got in there? And the government shall be upon my shoulder. And your yes is not necessarily my yes.
What's up?
Winding down. Sometimes we can be frustrated when this happens and God doesn't say yes. Look at Paul. Paul in 2 Corinthians 12, 1 through 10, I don't have time to read all this, but the main scripture here was, and I think where I like this, because he started in 7, he said, unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelation. Again, he talked about where the Lord had taken him up into the third heaven and had taken him into paradise and was showing us some things that could not be talked about. He said, there was given to me a thorn in my flesh. The messenger of Satan buffeted me. There's only one other time where I read to where Satan buffeted. If you look at that terminology to where he fought hard, and it was with the incident of Michael, the angel over Moses' body, and it uses that terminology to where Satan buffeted me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing, I besought the Lord thrice that it may depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee. My strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, I would rather glory in my infirmity, that the power of God may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmity, in reproach, in necessity, in persecution, in distress, for Christ's sake. For when I'm weak, then am I made strong. So no matter what, even in silence from God, there is an answer. Silence is an answer, but it determines how you interpret the silence. Jesus, the woman asked Jesus for help, and it said Jesus stood still and said nothing. It didn't mean he wasn't going to answer her. A silent pause is awkward because you feel like somebody needs to say something. This, and I'm done. Psalms 46 and 8. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted above the heavens. Father, I thank you for this time of study that thou hast given us. Lord, teach us how to accept the no, and Lord, maybe it's not clear to us, even when you don't say anything. Help us to continue to know that all things do work together for the good, that even in our conversation where we don't like what you have to say, it's an answer that works together for our good. So bless us and keep us in our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.